Hello, we'll see you again. I'm back. Well, in this second session, I'm going to kind of summarization what we have in the first session, and then I'm going to explain the framework of Korean SME policies. Are you bored? I'm trying to, not to you bored, but because of this kind of screen-to-screen conversation makes you tired and bored and sleepy. But I'm trying to make you up. Try to make you up. Okay. All right. These two, 1 and 2, is kind of the summarization we had in the first session. And then SME policy framework is very much interesting to me, but I don't know it is going to be to you or not. Okay, let us start. Let us go over quickly. All right, let us just summarize. During 1960s, government-led growth. Okay, export orientation. There is a lot of things I'd like to talk about, but we have some kind of a time limit. So, fortunately, if we have a chance to meet together next year or 2 years later, then I can explain more about the things I know about the government-led growth and export-oriented growth versus import substitution policy, right? All right, then we emphasize the light industry, garment with toy. During 1970s, we started to build the infrastructure and factor-driven growth. A lot of investment on heavy industry, chemical, steel, and what else? Automotive and electronics, all those things. And 1980s, there were overinvestment during 1970s, so restructuring. And we started to focus on R&D, research and development, and 1988 Olympics and economic boom. We utilize that opportunity very well. So construction, auto, shipbuilding, and chemical was the major key industry in 1980s. 1990 quality, as I told you, Samsung and Nicole, quality competitiveness rather than price competitiveness. Okay. And we faced Asian financial crisis. We overcome that financial crisis by nurturing venture. So the major industry was mid-technology industry, TV, mobile, home appliances, and computer. And 2000, global standards was more important. Until that time, we are catching up the developed countries like Japan, and we just trying to catch up, following. So we keep the global standard. What is the global standard? And informatization and ICT innovation. Innovation, we call it innovation-driven growth. And venture, semiconductor was the leading industry, started to be the leading industry in Korea. And shipbuilding and chemical steel was the number one in terms of competitiveness during the time. And 2010, creative economy and startups. Entrepreneurship development and false industrial development was very important. And as I told you, SMEs-oriented economy was emphasized, not large enterprise. Innovative, small startups is the engine of the Korean from the time on. And K-culture, as you know, K-culture, you know the BTS, 방탄소년단, BTS, and what is I forgot the name. The girl groups and GGGG and Gangnam Style. Then music and movie and food and very high-tech appliances getting the importance, and semiconductor and smartphones, automobiles. 2020, nobody knows. That's the situation we are facing up now. We don't know what will happen. We try to know, but nobody knows still. Very improbable situation we are facing. So K protection, K medicine is the should be main industry SMEs are focusing on, and medical healthcare industry. So under the uncertainty we are facing, what we are going to do, the COSB, the institution I'm working on, is trying to find the answer very much. So if you had a chance, I'd like to share the solution we found. All right, that's the summarization of the chronicle review of Korean economic policy. And also, this is you can just refer what is the main source or main factor of the Korean development. Agility, maybe you know the 빨리빨리. You know what's the meaning of 빨리빨리 as a Korean? 빨리빨리 means fast, quick. Koreans are very, quick-tempered. 빨리빨리. So, speed was the most important thing in for the survival of Korea. I don't know whether you know the Dongdaemun garment market. Dongdaemun garment market is the fast producing garment market where in the morning the design is created, and then the final product or final shirt or final clothes are made in the night. One day process, design and buying some inputs and making clothes, and then demonstration on the shop. This is kind of one process, 빨리빨리, fast, quick. But just being speed does not mean something solvable. Okay. As I mentioned in Samsung and Nicole case, speed makes some defects. So precision should be added on the speed. So agility, speed plus precision. And then A, B, benchmarking. We learn from the products made by Japan or US by reverse engineering. We take apart the radio and TV made by Japan, and we learned, this product is made by this way. We make kind of imitation or copy during our development process. So learning, and then from the learning, we pick the best practice, the best one. So learning plus best practice is the B, benchmarking, and C is convergence. Convergence means mixing together. You know the smartphone by Apple. And Samsung is kind of a follower of the Apple. Now Samsung has their own technology and their own characteristics and their own pandemics. Fandoms. Okay, so I don't know whether you know the golf zone. Golf zone is kind of the how can I say indoor golf. Indoor golf. One Korean guy who created golf zone, like camera and motion picture and censoring, and with the mixing of the several high technology. That guy, this golf zone CEO created simulation golf. In Korea is very small country, so golf it's very hard to get access to go out for the golf. But with that indoor golf, simulation golf, everyone can enjoy the golf. That is the one of the mixing and synergy creation. The synergy side effect, good side, positive side effect was created. So convergence is very important. And then dedication, diligence, but diligence with goal orientation. We know what we are doing. We try to get out of the poverty. We'd like to be living in the prosperous world. That is the goal orientation. So that is the ABCD: agility and benchmarking and convergence and dedication. Okay. Then this is the some explanation of agility and benchmarking, convergence and dedication. And this is the paradigm change of Korean SME policies during 1950s, 60s, 70s. Okay, let me emphasize 1970s, strengthening interfirm relationship, promote SMEs to support large enterprise exports. Like SMEs has a role of making parts and materials. Large enterprises assembled those parts, and they also make the high technology products like engine. The major part is produced by LE, and the other parts are made by SMEs. And during 1980s, protection and nurturing, the SMEs should be protected. But during 2000, competitiveness by competition. We need competition among SMEs. And then 2010, fair economy, harmonized growth. As I told you, large enterprise and SMEs have to survive together, get along together very well. How can we? I'm going to explain later if I have a chance. And SME-oriented innovative growth is much more emphasized during 2010s. All right, this is kind of the summarization of the first session. And then this is very unique, or I invented this diagram for the explanation of the Korean SME policies. Okay, let me explain from the far left to the far right. Okay, you think about it. You think about what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to explain. The small triangle idea, and then little bit bigger R&D and technology, and third one, commercialization. Commercialization, this is one word. And then little bit bigger one, production. And then marketing and sale. And you can see 500 meter, okay, idea has the height of 500 meter. And R&D has the height of 1,000. Commercialization, 1,000, 1,500. Production, 2,000. And marketing, sale, very high height, 3,000 meter. What that means is, you can think, what is it? What that means is, the height of this triangle, not triangle, I'm going to say this triangle as a mountain. This small mountain, medium-sized, small, smaller, small, and blah, 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 mountains. The height of the mountain is different. The height of mountain is the degree of difficulty to overcome. The startup to survive. Mountain of idea. Even me, even you guys have an idea. You can imagine, oh, well, let me see whether I can find anything. Okay. Let us think about this pen. Okay. You can imagine, you can think, is there any way to make this pen goes to the screen of a blackboard by itself, and then what I'm thinking, they can express what I'm thinking on the blackboard? You can imagine what thinking, okay? You can always thinking. With that idea, you have to make that imagination into the real world for the business, okay? Then you have to put your efforts or your knowledge and your money for develop the technology, what you think, okay? So R&D technology is needed. You have to succeed in that R&D. That's the second mountain you have to overcome. Idea, you can think idea. That mountain, degree of difficulty of mountain, idea mountain is not that height. Everyone can make idea. Then R&D, you have to put your knowledge, you have to insist, you have to invite someone who has the knowledge about that technology, and you have to invest your money, R&D, and then commercialization. You have to make a business plan. You have to you have to make money, how to make money from that R&D, okay? Commercialization, you have to make a prototype. You have to test your pen. And then after you overcome that commercialization mountain, you have to produce, manufacture, mass production, mountain of mass production is waiting for you, production. And then the most difficult one is the marketing and sale. Okay, who is going to buy your product? Consumer is suspecting if that customer buy this pen at some price, then, well, this pen is very trusty, or after-sale service is going to provide it, where I go to for the fixing the defects of this pen. After-sale service is going to provide it. If the company who sold this pen is gone by, then what should I do? Nobody believes the quality and the sustainability of the SMEs, startups. So the marketing and sales is the most difficult one. You have to, the entrepreneur have to overcome. Okay, you can see the rectangles under or upper on the each mountains. This is the words in the rectangle means the SME supporting tools to help startups in that phase. Okay. All right, I forgot to mention about this thing first. This thing. Let me explain the top left-hand side rectangle. Okay. These process of the startup, this life cycle of the startup is for the technology-oriented startups. Very high technology-oriented startups. But there are also someone who would like to open his own restaurant or his own retail store. Okay, we call them just micro firm. We set aside the micro firm supporting policies differently. Okay, micro firm supporting policies consist of consulting, management, marketing, and HRM, human resource management, etc. Consulting, and also this is very unique policy tools, policy intervention, Korea had, business district analysis. What that means is, if I would like to open the one restaurant in some place, I ask to MSS, Ministry of Startups, SMEs and Startups, MSS. All right. Could you please forecast whether the restaurant I try to open is going to be prosperous, can make money? A lot of people is coming to that restaurant. Can you forecast? Can you make some evaluation of that district? Then the one instrument, the implementation agency under MSS and consultant check the how many people is gathering and going around, and so they can forecast. All right. Well, this site is very good. Oh no, you cannot make a lot of money in this site. So I'm recommend not to open your restaurant at the place, kind of thing. So that is business district analysis. Okay, now let's go back to our main high technology session. Okay. Okay, on the idea, BI and consulting and education is provided to someone who has the idea. Consulting, BI is business incubator. You know what is business incubator. I don't have to explain it. What is it, right? So business incubator, the startups are provided what is it, space and some common place for the startups can discuss about the meetings and the kind of business incubator and also consulting. You have to make your business plan. You better to make this proceed in this way for your business to be succeeding. All right, idea can be realized by BI and consulting and R&D and technology. What should do? I mean, the startup. Okay, he can invest his own money, and also he can apply for the grant for the R&D to government, and also industry academic cooperation. You know what is industry academic and research cooperation, because the SMEs does not have their own resources for development R&D. They ask to university or research institution, okay, I needed this kind of the technology. Can you develop the idea as a technology for me? So industry academic cooperation is very popular in Korea, and also they do not have the facility to do their own research. So common facility for R&D is provided by government, and also financial support. They need money and investment. I'm going to, as a startup owner, I'm going to put this money, this amount of money for my R&D. Then could you please match this remainder for me? They can ask to government. And then commercialization. The 1,200 meters of the mounting test. You make the prototype, and then you have to test whether it is working very well, whether it is endurance of after a lot of use and test, and also certification. This product should pass this certification, and government provides some support for the certification and financial support, and accelerator comes in. They educate and they train the startups for the better business plan, and to the accelerator train to better presentation to the venture capital. You know what is it, demo day? Demo day means startups make a presentation in front of venture capital. Okay, my company is blah blah blah, make this kind of product. Okay, we have the very promising product, and we have very much promising human capital. We have this kind of technology. So why don't you invest to us? Kind of demo day. And then production. Production is another mountain which is waiting for the startups. They have to build their own factory. They have to equip some facility for the production, and they have to hire employee to make production. They need capital. So these problems, I mean these mountains, which is not overcome by themselves because of the market failure. Even they go to the bank for lending some money, but they do not have much enough collateral. They do not have enough credit. Then how can they make produce, or how can they buy some equipment? Then government comes in. Government provides some very low interest rate and very long duration of loan. Okay. And group purchase means as a one startup, they don't have the much negotiation power with the seller of the input or natural resources. So as a group, they purchase as a group. Startups make a kind of group, and then they can negotiate with seller of input or natural resources as a group. Okay, and financial support. And marketing and sales is the highest barrier to them. Okay, then public procurement is the one of the very important policy instrument or policy intervention by Korean government. Okay, because nobody knows the quality of the SME, the startups product, government buy, okay, SME products, all right? Government buy these products at some price. So it's kind of proof. Government verified the quality of the product, public procurement. And home shopping. Home shopping specialized to the SMEs product. Okay. And group sale and common brand. Common brand, maybe I said earlier, common brand is kind of SMEs made common brand, and under that brand. But to participate in that brand, they should pass some kind of test. Some SMEs who pass that test can join the group purchase, group sale, and common brand. And there are lots of export promotion policies provided to Korean SMEs. All right, so let me explain, briefly go over again. Idea, there is this kind of instrument, the policy tool is provided, R&D, and commercialization, and production, and marketing sale. Okay, next session, I'm going to explain the main part of the Korean SME policies by function, like finance and startups and marketing, exporting, human capital, regulation, and who is going to I'm going to introduce the implementation agency as well. All right. I prepare some quiz for you guys for the better understanding. You can, as I said earlier, you can solve easily this question. So please make a good answer for me and for your understanding. I'll be back in a minute. Thank you very much.